With their unique high-value habits, Sigma INFJs stand out in the complex world of personality traits. Some people may find these habits laudable, but others may find them annoying. Let's examine the 8 reasons why people around Sigma INFJs may occasionally become irritated by their admirable actions. 8. Individualism interpreted as coldness. Because they value their independence so much, Sigma INFJs may accidentally come across as distant from others around them. Although their independence is admirable, some may mistake it for emotional indifference. Because of the Sigma INFJ's inclination for independence, there could be a barrier that prevents others from seeing the emotional depth that lies beneath the surface. Their independence may make others feel left out or unsure about their degree of emotional commitment, even while they genuinely want meaningful interactions. It is important to understand that this seems to be a result of their strong sense of self rather than a sign of apathy. A deeper comprehension of Sigma INFJ's demand for autonomy and the ability to strike a balance that promotes connection without jeopardizing their valued independence are necessary to navigate this facet of their conduct. In the end, understanding this dynamic will help you build more genuine and satisfying connections with Sigma INFJs. 7. Reticence prevents honest communication. Because of their reserved demeanor, many INFJs wall off their innermost feelings and thoughts. Although this prudence protects their vulnerability, it could unintentionally prevent them from being candid with others. People who are close to a Sigma INFJ may feel alienated or find it difficult to understand the subtleties of their inner world because of their reluctance to communicate their thoughts and feelings honestly. Because of their reserved nature, Sigma INFJs might be difficult to get to know well because it takes conscious effort to get through their barriers of privacy. For individuals who want to interact with Sigma INFJs, it is imperative to realize that this restrained demeanor is a protection mechanism rather than a sign of rejection. These impediments to communication can be removed by fostering trust and providing an environment in which they feel free to express themselves. This will result in deeper, more fulfilling friendships. Meaningful communication can flourish in a setting where the Sigma INFJ's need for discretion is acknowledged and respected. 6. Thinking strategically is viewed as manipulative. Known for their careful preparation and strategic thinking, Sigma INFJs could have their positive qualities mistaken for manipulation. Their deliberate deliberation over choices and behaviors may provide the appearance of deliberate control, raising questions about any ulterior motivations. People who misunderstand their goals may become uneasy as a result of the emphasis on long-term planning. It's critical to understand that, rather than being motivated by deception, Sigma INFJ's strategic perspective is really motivated by efficiency and purpose. By clearing the air and promoting understanding, one might close the gap by teaching others about the sincerity that underlies their strategic thinking. Clear lines of communication allow Sigma INFJs to demonstrate their careful approach without raising suspicions about hidden agendas, strengthening more cooperative and trustworthy partnerships. It becomes essential to strike a healthy balance between open communication and strategic planning to make sure that the positive traits of Sigma INFJs are recognized without unnecessarily creating mistrust. 5. A preference for isolation could be seen as antisocial. Because they value their alone time to recharge, Sigma INFJs could unintentionally come across as antisocial. Their demand for solitude may be misinterpreted as social disengagement or withdrawal, even when they are seeking personal space for renewal. For Sigma INFJs, preferring isolation is a kind of self-care rather than a rejection of others. It is essential to communicate openly about their need for occasional separation in order to remove misconceptions. Harmonious interactions with Sigma INFJs depend on finding a balance between social interaction and alone time. This way, their demand for privacy is respected without unnecessarily worrying friends and family. Those who are close to Sigma INFJs can create a nurturing environment that honors their need for privacy, while fostering deep, meaningful interactions by learning about the benefits of isolation and appreciating it as an essential component of their well-being. 4. High expectations can breed what's known as perfectionism. Driven by their desire for perfection, Sigma INFJs have admirably high expectations for both themselves and everyone around them. But others can mistakenly see your dedication to excellence as perfectionism. The unrelenting pursuit of perfection can lead to an environment of continual assessment and strain, making others who contact with Sigma INFJs feel questioned or inadequate in the face of seemingly high standards. It's critical to understand that Sigma INFJs are driven by their own passion for perfection, not by criticism of others. Relationship health depends on finding a balance between having high expectations and making allowances for flaws. Those who are close to Sigma INFJs can foster an atmosphere of mutual support and encouragement by realizing that their dedication to excellence stems from self-development rather than a need for perfection in others. Relationships that are built on development, cooperation, and common goals can be fostered by accepting the positive traits of Sigma INFJs without giving in to unwarranted pressure. 3. Nonconformity that questions accepted social standards. Sigma INFJs have a high propensity to be nonconformists. They reject social conventions and value individualism as a fundamental component of who they are. For individuals who are more used to conforming, this independent spirit might be frightening, even though it is true and empowering. Because they are prepared to forge their own path and reject traditional expectations, Sigma INFJs may come across as rebellious or unconventional. For both Sigma INFJs and those around them, striking a careful balance between the need for personal expression and social norms becomes essential. Promoting tolerance and understanding between people requires an appreciation of the variety of viewpoints and methodologies. Although Sigma INFJ's nonconformist tendencies may go against conventional wisdom, they also provide society with a variety of viewpoints. It takes an open-minded attitude to navigate this dynamic, appreciating both the value of common societal norms and the significance of individual expression. 2. Realistic goals clash with idealistic ones. Propelled by idealistic goals and a strong desire to make a positive influence, Sigma INFJs can discover that their dreams clash with practical reality. When seeing a future governed by their values, Sigma INFJs could feel conflicted since some people think their goals are unrealistic or idealistic. It becomes a balancing effort to discern the sincerity underlying the endeavors of Sigma INFJs in the face of idealism versus realism. Overcoming this divide entails appreciating the imaginative nature of Sigma INFJs and cooperating to achieve workable solutions. The difficulty of interactions with Sigma INFJs is highlighted by the friction that exists between the quest of an ideal world and the recognition of practical restrictions. Fostering a conversation that respects both idealistic goals and practical considerations opens the door to fruitful cooperation and reciprocal development. Dreams and realities can coexist more peacefully when these dynamics are navigated, and embracing the transformative potential within the conflict between idealism and realism might help. 1. Empathy is absent when one is detached from emotional disputes. Approaching emotional difficulties with a logical mentality, Sigma INFJs put resolution ahead of giving way to heightened emotions. Others may misinterpret this tactical emotional detachment as a lack of empathy, even if it's a coping strategy for preserving objective and clarity. Those expecting a more emotionally invested response may feel unsettled because Sigma INFJs frequently negotiate emotional upheaval with a cool demeanor in search of successful conflict resolution. It is critical to understand that this distance is not a sign of apathy, but rather a purposeful approach to amicable dispute resolution. More compassionate connections can be created by promoting honest discussion about emotional needs and identifying common ground when resolving disagreements. It becomes crucial for Sigma INFJs to strike a balance between strategic resolve and emotional responsiveness in order to close the gap and establish emotionally fulfilling relationships. People who are close to Sigma INFJs can better understand the motivations behind their acts and help foster an environment where people are more sympathetic and empathic by learning about the complex approach they bring to emotional problems. Though frequently founded on positive traits, the peculiarities of Sigma INFJ's high-value routines can unintentionally plant the seeds of conflict in interpersonal relationships. Harmonious relationships can arise from an understanding of these behaviors' subtleties. Between the perspectives of others around the Sigma INFJs and their great attributes,